Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
ESPN put out a list. Top 30 best pro wrestlers under 30 in the world today. Number 1, Dirty Dom. Number 2, MJF.
I think Dom is deserving to be number 1. I think he is probably, like I said, one of the greatest heels in the last 10, 15 years. Like you said, he can't talk on the microphone.
The fans love it because they feel like they're a part of the show.
And that's the best.
Without their booze, he's not the best heel.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Who will lead the Grizz in steals this season?
I'm going to go with Pippen for steals this season.
So I'm going to go with Jaren.
I'm going to go, as long as he's in the rotation, I'm going to go Jake LaRavia for total steals, and I'll have Marcus Smart in my back pocket for steals per game.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz Beat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Anthony Melton took my boys, my little guys, to the ice cream stand. He was like, I'm going to get ice cream. You want to go with? So he took my little guys to the ice cream stand. So, guess who their favorite player is now? John Morant. But outside of that, DeAnthony Melton's pretty high up on the list. How about this? We got youth small DeAnthony Melton jerseys at our house right now. Love DeAnthony Melton. That was a fun night.
It was a fun night, man.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Yellow lace is really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges, and you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Live from downtown Memphis, this is the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Chris Vernon.
It's noon on GrindCityMedia.com. It's Chris Vernon Show. Welcome. It is the Friday, December 6th, 2024 edition of the show. Today on the show, Grizzlies got a win last night at FedEx Forum against the Sacramento Kings. We will go through everything that took place last night at the Forum. I saw Brent Rooker at the Forum last night, one of the best players in Major League Baseball, and he is a Memphian. And he is going to join us in studio today. We'll talk to him about what he saw at the game last night and also becoming one of the best hitters in the major leagues at a later stage than most do in their careers. Brent Rooker is going to join us in studio. We will get picks for the weekend from Brian Edwards from VegasInsider.com. We have championship weekend ahead in college football. One more weekend to sift through who's going to be playing in the National College Football Playoff. It's a Friday. It is freezing out, but smile. Let's do it. Turn it up. Hope everybody's having a good day. All right, so the Grizzlies got a win last night at FedEx Forum against the Sacramento Kings. They now have a big weekend ahead as they are going to have the proper Marcus Smart return to Boston as they are headed to play against the Boston Celtics tomorrow night. This is within a 1 week time span. They will have played both teams that were represented in the NBA Finals last year. And so while they lost the game earlier this week against Dallas, they were able to get back on the winning track before they head to Boston to play a game on Saturday night. Tomorrow is going to be loaded up with college football. In fact, there's a couple games that are going on tonight as well. We'll get to all of that with Brian Edwards. Before I get to anything, I welcome John Roser to the show. John Roser, a.k.a. the Cologne Ranger, the Body Spray Bandits in your sack. Johnny Backfill, Johnny Bearcat. John Asparagus, Johnny Netcarb, John Lance. He's John Hustle. He's Yogi Roser. Hello, John.
What up? I've got introduce Devin. I've got you never know, man. You really never know.
Devin Walker's here. He is the microphone mangler. He is Senor Quasadilla. He's Mr. Math. He's Navajo Jones. The reporter, the photographer. He's Sir Hiss. He's Walker 93.
I feel good. Get the out my thighs. I'm feeling good today, bro. I'm feeling good today, bro. It's a good Friday, bro.
Squabble up then.
Hair looks
Squabble
good.
Up. All right, Roser, with your you never know.
Yeah, so I got a text message the other day from Parth from the Daily Memphian.
Oh. Say his last name.
So it's spelled the same way as Sudu's, but it's pronounced completely different.
Say his last name.
Sudu's is Upadhyaya.
Okay.
That is not Parth. I don't know how to say Parth. Bennett told me I don't remember. It's pronounced different. It's spelled the same, but it's pronounced different.
We just call him Big P.
Just call him
Big P.
Big P, not the little one.
It's Big P, bro. He hit me up and said, hey, the director of the Maui Invitational heard your show with Tony and you guys talking about how much y'all love the Maui Invitational and would like a clip of that if you can get it for him. And I said,
what?
I said, absolutely. We will get that to him. Had the timestamp and everything. Luke clipped it up and emailed it to him. Turns out the director of the Maui Invitational is a fan of the show, is a Memphian, graduated from Christian Brothers High School in 2004, a year after I did. Yeah.
What?
And
So
loves the
we
show.
all should get a trip to the Maui next
And he
year.
loves the show.
So that means
Send us to Maui.
Send us to Maui next year,
Nelson
bro.
Taylor's his name. He's the director of the Maui Invitational.
Hey, tell him to fly us out. I'm trying to get flown out to Maui.
We got branches everywhere.
Yeah, bro.
We got branches everywhere.
Yeah, bro, like worldwide.
Yeah.
You feel me?
You know, I told you, like, next year, because of our beloved Khaki Gleaver who works here.
Yeah.
Her father runs the State Fair of Texas.
Yes.
And we are going to go
right, the State Fair of
Oklahoma.
Texas.
I mean, we're branching out, man. We got connections everywhere. We are connected.
We're connected. Like a Wi-Fi.
Look, and that's crazy. You said this guy. What'd you say?
Nelson Taylor. He's the director of the Maui Invitational. Yeah, tournament director.
You remember this? Look, Brent Rooker is coming in today. I did a story on 10 things 100 years ago. Hey, here's a crazy story I just read about in the paper. There's a Memphis kid who just won the Golden Spikes Award as the best player in college baseball. His name's Brent Rooker. I go and look him up on Twitter. The guy's been following me for years because he was a high school kid that loved
the Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And I'm like, I'll be damned. And now look, one of the best players in the major leagues is going to be coming hanging out with us today. Not when I first got a call, from there's a guy who is he's a massive sports television executive. Okay? Like one of those guys that get quoted like when there's big media news or making decisions or whatever else. And so I see his name pop up on my phone, and I'm like, what in the world? And I answered it, and I said, hey, and he's like, hey, is this Chris? And we start talking, and this is when he's like, we are going to be doing an all-access show on Peacock for the U.S. Open. You guys remember when I got this gig, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, are you serious? Right? Like, I've never done anything like this before. But yeah, I'm down, right? And so I start talking to him. And then as we're talking, you know, I didn't know if it was like, you know, obviously I'd been on a bunch of like different golf podcasts, and like a lot of the golf magazines had written about the Masters updates and whatnot. They had written about the Masters updates and whatnot, and that was so. I knew that I had gotten a lot of attention within the golf world, right? And plus, I had done interviews when they came here for the FedEx and whatever else, and so I then thought there's this big sports agent who I'm not signed with, but I know him, and he's helped me out in the past, and he's reached out to me in the past and has said very kind things. And so we have communicated many times over the past. And I'm like, I guarantee. I was like, I'm not one of his clients. I guarantee this dude gave him my name. Right? Because the guy is a fan of mine. Right? Mm-hmm. He likes me. He'll even, text me about shows and whatever else. Though he's not my agent. So anyways, I finally get there. I start doing the deal. And I'm like, who told you? Like, how did this even happen? Right? Why is this guy from Peacock? To me, whatever. And he was like, actually, you were, the way your name came up, we were having a meeting, and one of the guys that is in charge of all of the golf content and the Golf Channel brought your name up. He was formerly at ESPN. His name is Thomas McKee. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah. His name's Thomas McKee. He's like, you know who that is? And I'm like, you have got to be. When we were at 7:30, Thomas McKee used to tweet and email me all the time. He was a college student at Ole Miss. Fast forward, how many years? How many years? 20 years or whatever?
Yeah.
15
you never
years?
know, man.
15 years?
Yeah.
And this guy's a bigwig with NBC Universal. And I'm like, what? He a diehard Grizzlies fan. Diehard Grizzlies fan.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's how, that's why you called me in the first place? Yeah. And now we got guys that are at NBC Universal. Yeah. We got guys that are Major League Baseball players. Last week we had Braden Thornberry. He's in the freaking PGA Tour now.
Got Calvin Austin in the NFL.
We got Calvin Austin in the NFL.
Yeah, man.
We got the guy that runs the Maui Invitational.
Yeah, bro. Worldwide, bro.
We out here.
Put us
You
on
never
the
know.
map.
You never know.
Yeah, you never
We
know.
out here.
Hey, we in these streets.
So the crazy thing is, last night, I'll have Rooker tell a story. Rooker was in this box with Luke Kennard's wife and a bunch of friends, right? Big to do. I think her birthday is this week, okay?
Today.
Mm-hmm. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. They booked it last night for the big to-do, and then Luke got the flu. Luke got the flu,
That's tough.
Luke not there, but his wife had to entertain a huge crew in a box last night.
That's tough. That's tough.
That game.
It's just all dub at the end.
Yeah, the game, look, it looked dicey. Okay, let's start with the biggest thing that we'll remember from last night's game, which is the ejection, just because we never see ejections. Jaron got ejected last year on with a hothead ref. Ja got ejected once, I believe, in his career on the game on the road. Where was that? Where he was talking to the fan?
City.
Yeah, he was talking to the fan in the front
asked the
row.
ref if he was playing FanDuel.
I think he got ejected twice. He got ejected here one time because I remember him spazzing out on the ref here.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I remember. I never forget that night. That was
he's
funny
been
as hell.
ejected a couple. Taylor's gotten ejected before.
Yeah, very few times.
It's free. You don't see a lot of them.
Okay, but you could see the frustration mounting last night. And then, obviously, he blew a gasket after the ridiculous foul call against DeRozan, who, by the way, does not get the James Harden, Trae Young, foul merchant. Even SGA now is becoming, people are busting him.
Oh, he does.
Oh, my God. DeRozan is a king foul merchant.
Yes.
And it's so much worse because it's jumpers. He
And
never
mid-range,
drives.
too. It's mid-range jumpers,
He
too.
never drives. So his foul merchanting is all 15-footers.
And it really stinks because he's awesome at the free throw line, too. He doesn't miss.
Yeah, and so, I mean, he's just kicking out. He's flailing everywhere. And so, anyways, John Morant gets thrown out of the game. And, look, this is one of those where, the meme where the guy is like the meme where the guy is like pointing to his temple, right?
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh yeah,
big brain. Big brain. One step ahead.
One step ahead
One
guy.
step ahead. Yeah.
Right. I'm one step ahead guy. Make the story about how he got thrown out of the game as the headline, because I don't know who was wearing a Ja Morant costume last night. But that was not him.
It was not him.
What happened? I don't know if something happened to him, if he got injured, if he was sick, if he had a bad day, if he read a incredibly disappointing tweet, if maybe he got beat up because he had said he wasn't going to dunk anymore. I don't know. But I was like, bro, I got it. You told Tim McMahon that you weren't going to dunk anymore. But that doesn't mean you don't have to play anymore. And he didn't even want the ball. I don't know who that was. That was an imposter. I texted you guys the whole game. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
We all were like, what?
He wasn't aggressive.
And then when he finally got off the ball, I was like, cool. Maybe they'll put him off the ball. They'll get off the ball with Pippen out there, and he'll get moving.
He was like hiding in the corner.
He stood in the corner. It's like, okay.
He wasn't even coming to get the ball.
The truth,
and he was missing a couple like he'll get to the rim missing lays he usually makes, and it was very strange.
The truth,
something was just off.
He was getting frustrated too, as it was building up.
But he was missing shots.
The whole game
we
off.
don't know what it was, but something was off. If he came out today and said he had 104 fever, it would not shock me.
It would not, no.
Because something was not him, and then
it saved Taylor.
What?
From having to make the decision to put or not put him back in the game.
Because
they were so much better without him last night.
They were so much better without any of the starters.
Yes. Yeah. Dez was the only starter who was good.
Dez was in that group. Dez was in the group.
But
Dez was getting lifted up because he was getting to play with the bench. Dez wasn't any good with the starters.
No.
He was good with the bench. They were the ones that brought all the energy. They were the ones that brought all the tenacity. They brought the fight. They were flying around everywhere. They were moving. They were popping the ball around. Everything was so much better, and the bench absolutely saved him last night. And the thing that's tricky about the bench last night, well, not tricky, that's a bad adjective. The thing that was brilliant about the bench last night is because it's one thing for the bench to come in and dominate another bench, which is obviously pathetic. Their bench is awful.
Oh, it's buns.
Awful. I mean, especially now that they're starting Monk. It's like, good grief, look at this lot that you're bringing off. And it's one thing to be able to dominate that. The bench stayed in against the starters.
Yep.
And, it's a perfect – last night was a perfect example. A guy tweets me. Now, maybe – look, it might be in this day and age somebody had a prop bet or something. Maybe that's why.
Definitely was a parlay.
Right. But a guy was – he's absolutely – he tags everybody. Chris Harrington, he tags me. He tags Drew Hill. He tags DeMichael Cole.
He's just tagging.
He's tagging everybody.
Tag guy. I hate tag guy.
Look,
tag guy's always
he
aggressive.
tags everybody. And this is as the Grizzlies are – flying back. And he tags Jaren Jackson Jr. and he says, someone explain having Jaren Jackson Jr. on the bench at a 4-minute mark in this game. This is lunacy. And I displayed what was an amazing level of self-control because I wanted so badly to respond. And I just said, you know what? Tonight, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let this thing play out. I'm just going to say, because what I wanted to type out was, what game are you watching?
He had a parlay, bro.
I love Jaren too. I love Ja too. I texted you guys and I said, I hope Taylor Jenkins has a stick and berries. And
That's not what you said.
No, you didn't say it but yes.
That works too. You can't say it. I understand. My bad.
I said, I hope Taylor Jenkins has a stick and berries and rides this group out because they deserve to finish this game.
Yes.
Because they are the only ones. They saved them in the second quarter. They saved them in the third quarter. They saved them again in the fourth quarter. Every time the starters came in, it went to hell. And every time the bench came in,
it was great.
The energy, bro.
It was crazy.
And he did.
And I was like, it's just one of those nights.
And Ja getting ejected saved him from having to make the decision about Ja. He put Jaren back in with 1:27 left, 1.5 minutes left. He brought up.
He carried.
Whoa, by the way.
He did.
By the way, I need these refs to chill with this carry shit, bro.
Hey,
everybody carries in the NBA.
You can't do what he did.
He knew it.
He knew it.
His was bad.
He knew it.
His was bad because he was going to turn one way. And then the ball was just palming in his hand, and he decided to turn the other way. It's like, bro, you can't delay it like that.
Yeah, no, it was
okay. But our possessions down the stretch, he got overshadowed because they win the game. Oh my God, the one where Dez is just there was a moment where, in the absence of Ja, I'm like, bro, we don't have anybody that can dribble, and so Dez is pounding it into the ground, and then if you remember this possession. He's like kind of pounding, looking around, and it ends up he throws it to the corner. Marcus Smart takes a contested three from the corner, and then we come down and we get turn 4, so we're clearing out for Jaren Jackson Jr. and he friggin' carries, and I'm like, this is not the way to get us home.
Stinks because he made the shot too.
But Dez did hit you with a little. He got to the rim. You know, then hit him with the
Dez looked more athletic than he has looked the entire season last night.
Shout out
Look,
to you, man.
and
Shout
he
out
needed between him and Aldama, because, man, Sabonis is an absolute vacuum. I mean, everything that comes off the rim. And if it were not for Dez jumping over everyone to get several rebounds in that game, like there were twice where he made these crazy athletic rebounds, and I was like, yo!
He did.
Yeah, he was getting up there. The guards did a good job of rebounding, bro.
Yeah.
Him, Jalen, Santi, even your boy Jake.
Jake,
they put their face in the mix.
I got a couple of post-game calls last night complaining about we had the old
I
school.
heard that one.
We had the old school guy complaining about
old school guy.
Whatever happened to when you box out your turn and put your booty on him and push them back. Like I got that guy.
I agree with him,
but I did. But the point was
putting your booty on people.
But the point is that, yo, man, I'm like Sabonis is legit. Like might be the best rebounder in the world. Yeah. Like, that dude is an amazing rebounder.
The crazy one that I will say, I will defend this guy. How many different times did the ball bounce off the rim, go over J Huff's head straight to Sabonis? And I'm like, how is this happening? The guy is a vacuum. Yeah. How are we not getting these rebounds? Yeah. He gets all these rebounds that are just like missed. Any missed rebound is his.
Oh, he grabbing it. He's like
Every
hungry
one of them.
hippos.
You have to snatch the ball off the rim or Sabonis gets it.
Like you have to jump up and get it. Because if it gets to like eye level, he's getting the ball.
He has got this crazy knack for it. It's truly impressive to watch. And I'll tell you this, they stopped going to that pick and roll.
With Fox and him?
Yes.
Yeah,
their whole offense bases off of that. And it is a weird fit when you've got Monk and DeRozan out there because it's like, who doesn't need the ball here?
All of them do. Keegan's the only one that's standing over like,
hey.
Keegan's like, yo, if y'all want to swing it over here,
I mean,
I'm still here.
Swing.
It is one of those things that when you saw them last year and they had, whoever they would run out at shooting guard, sometimes it was Duarte, sometimes it was Keon, sometimes it was Kevin Huerter, and then they had Harrison Barnes, who was just your consummate role-playing three. I know you're not a fan, but it's the way the puzzle fits together. And also, they don't have defenders in that lineup either, right? I mean, I thought it was weird. Watching them last year, I thought they were one of the hardest teams in the entire league to defend. I thought it was like European-like basketball. Ball popped around all the time, whatever. Last night, they looked like a normal NBA team. Some pick and rolls and a lot of – DeRozan is not a keep moving, keep the ball moving guy.
Oh, he catch it. I'm shooting him.
Yeah.
If the ball touches my hands, y'all not getting it back.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to walk you down. But to Dez's point, so Dez played well yesterday, probably one of his best games of the season. One of his I would say not many motivations. Did you see the pregame? So in pregame, if you remember this summer, bro, Dez went to, he did this community event at the Sports and Event Center. And these kids came up to him. They were like,
I do remember.
I love you, blah, 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 blah.
The football team.
We got our football game over here if you want to come support us.
It was Ridgeway,
the Mount Moriah Road Runners.
Yep.
So I found this out last night. So they play their game. Dez goes there to show them love. Blah, blah, blah. Take a video. Pre-game yesterday. Guess who got him tickets to the game? The whole team is there. Dez walks over to him. Congrats on y'all's championship. They won like a 10U championship. Congrats on y'all's championship, blah, blah, blah. They're like, you going to show out tonight, Dez? He was like, yeah, I got you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
oh, you think he did it for the kids?
Did it for the kids, man.
Yeah. Do it for the kids.
Do it for the kids, Dez, man. Do it for, hey, look, man.
That's cool.
So that's like, I was like, that's a kind of a full circle thing. We're like, all right, Dez, you play your best game of the year.
And that's one of those things that is not promoted.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Look, he got them all. They just won a 10U championship.
That's awesome.
And Dez doing it for the kids, man. He was like, yo, we
the same kids he met at that day?
Same kids he met that day. They were at the game last night. I thought that was pretty cool, man. You talk about full circle. It's like, yeah. He didn't forget about him.
And he had his best game in a long time.
Best game in a long time. Shout out to Dez, man.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah,
all right.
I thought that was pretty cool. Also, Santi, since we joked about his 1 for 18 on the show, that boy been hooping, Verno.
Oh, my God. He couldn't hit anything from 3 at the beginning of November, and now the 3 has come along. And you look at his field goal percentage, you look at his points, you look at his rebounds. I mean, it has been this steady incline from year to year to year. And now he has found that sweet spot where he can play between 20 and 30 minutes, but still get you starter level production. He has been outstanding. And also, we're seems like a long time since we've talked about the 4-point games. The 22 and then the 4.
Right.
And then I text you guys after the game, and I say, Santi's averaging 13 over the last 2 games, right?
Right.
Because he had 22, and then he had 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like we're past that.
It's like consistent now, bro. Like
That's what I mean.
20 against New Orleans, 15 Indiana, 15 against Dallas, 15 last night. It's just like
all right,
consistent.
And we're pretty deep into the show before
here he goes.
we can get to it.
Here he goes. You know what he's about to do.
Marcus Smart, Skydog.
The shirtless Skydog?
By the way, I think he did that shit on purpose.
Of course he did it on purpose.
I heard this dude named Chris Vernon talking about I got food poisoning and I'm out of shape. I'm finna show him.
He for
I'm finna
sure
show him.
Did it on purpose.
I'm finna show him.
He was ripped up.
Yeah,
I said I needed the food poisoning diet.
He looked good, man. He looked good. He looked good, man. That boy looked slim, trim.
Cool tattoo.
Cool tattoo. He got that's the OG.
I like the wings across the shoulders.
But that's the OG joint, though. That's like the OG MySpace tattoo. The wings across the shoulders.
Look,
that's the OG joint.
I tell you this, he was making sure you knew he was fit. Look at those greens.
Oh, come on, bro.
Look at those greens.
Roser, you are over.
Wow.
I just keep picking Jake.
I'll tell you this. Somebody tweeted me last night, and they were like, yo, They were like, look, please keep picking Sky Dogs because as soon as you do, they turn into an all-star.
Oh, hold on now. They didn't give me credit.
He told you to pick Bane.
He told me to pick Bane next game.
Tell your people to stop saddling up.
Everyone is my people.
Stop saddling up because who picked Marcus the game before?
Look, put the standings back up on Sky Dog at the game.
Put it back up.
Picking that's 3.
I picked Marcus Smart the game before. Just saying.
Okay, so you've had 1.
Yeah, come on. Don't try to tell your Glaze fan to Krispy Kreme.
Roser is he's struggling on Sky Dog at the game.
Well,
I mean, it's 4 Jakes in a row.
Yeah,
and Edie, and he got hurt.
And then you pick.
By the way,
Jake did not play. He didn't play bad.
You tried to pick
night.
Kennard, then Kennard got sick though.
Yeah, Kennard got sick.
Yeah,
well, the
you're
second
the kiss of death.
So the second one I mentioned on the show yesterday was Huff, who played well too. But I went with Jake because I go with Jake.
I feel like the Edie news got no play.
That it's going to be a couple
last
more
night.
weeks.
Oh, he
no, Fish said that on the pregame show last night, and I was like, what?
Yeah, a couple more weeks.
He said that Taylor said before the game, practice did not go well.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
When he practiced with the
hustle ain't got no big, so I want to know who he's playing.
Like an
to
ankle?
me, that tells.
Or is he out of shape? Or is the ankle still like? Is it a real?
The mobility issues, maybe.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a couple weeks.
Yeah, I was
like,
like a couple weeks.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Couple weeks is
to go from practicing with the hustle, and we get excited like, oh, okay, he's about to be on his way back, and then they're like, yeah, practice didn't go good. Like,
I don't think the GG. I don't think the
reconvene in 2
GG
weeks.
one got enough either.
What, 6 to 8 weeks?
Reevaluated in 6 to 8 weeks.
I thought he said return to play in about 6 to 8 weeks.
I thought it said reevaluated in 6 to 8
Roser,
weeks.
you can't.
Neither of you guys can read, so.
Whoa. I'm a better reader than Roser.
That's cap.
I'm a better reader than Roser.
Devin, I love you.
He is expected to return to play within 6 to 8 weeks. I know I read that shit right.
Expected to return to play.
See?
Expected to.
Yeah.
Well, we expected Zach Edey to be back playing this week, too.
I'm tired of your negative attitude.
It's not negative. It's just facts.
You're like this people on Twitter.
It's my bag, yo, big facts.
And I just supported you. By the way, if there were a reading contest between you and Roser would
win?
Yeah,
That's cap.
Bro.
Are we going to do a reading contest?
We can have a read-off, bro.
We're going to have a read-off?
We can go read-off, bro. We can
if
go
you're
bar for bar.
asking me to answer questions afterwards about what I read, that's not going to go well for me.
I can win a reading comprehension test over him, bro.
That's true. Anybody
could.
A snail could.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude.
He has the attention span of
that's just
a gnat.
Yeah.
Reading comprehension, I'm winning.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
Take
not.
a break. Brent Rooker is going to join us. Chris Vernon Show.
ESPN put out a list. Top 30 best pro wrestlers under 30 in the world today. Number 1, Dirty Dom. Number 2, MJF.
I think Dom is deserving to be number 1. I think he is probably, like I said, one of the greatest heels in the last 10, 15 years. Like you said, he can't talk on the microphone.
The fans love it because they feel like they're a part of the show.
And that's the best.
Without their booze, he's not the best heel.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
There was a tweet from NBA G League that Cam Spencer was, quote, unconscious. Cam Spencer had 51 points on 75% shooting. The Grizzlies front office ability to find talent late in the draft continues to be a massive positive for this team.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
How about them
How
Tigers?
about
Go
the
Tigers. Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Who will lead the Grizz in steals this season?
I'm going to go with Pippen for steals this season.
So I'm going to go with Jaren.
I'm going to go, as long as he's in the rotation, I'm going to go Jake LaRavia for total steals, and I'll have Marcus Smart in my back pocket for steals per game.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
D'Anthony Melton took my little guys, to the ice cream stand. He was like, I'm going to get ice cream. You want to go with? So he took my little guys to the ice cream stand. So, guess who their favorite player is now? John Morant. But outside of that, D'Anthony Melton's pretty high up on the list. How about this? We got youth small D'Anthony Melton jerseys at our house right now. Love D'Anthony Melton. That was a fun night.
It was a fun night, man.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Yellow lace is really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges, and you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Welcome back to the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, back to your host, Chris Vernon.
Outside with the G's and the homies. OG fresh out ducking the police. White t-shirt, locs on, riding dirt. Trick, don't talk to me when I'm counting up money. Yeah, west side, east side, it's active. I just stepped in the party, what's cracking? I just seen the enemies, but they lack. Yeah, we really with the business, they don't want no action. Bounce, rock, slide, throw it in the sky. If you from one side, we throw your W's up there.
All right, we're back. Chris Vernon Show. Oh, it's so excited. One of the best hitters of Major League Baseball All-Star, and a Memphian, Brent Rooker, is here in studio with us. Thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah, man, happy to be here.
You were at the game last night.
I was there.
And you have been to what? I think four or five?
I think four at this point. More than I've been to in the last several years, so it's been exciting.
Okay, so, and I believe you're undefeated.
I think so. I don't think I've seen a loss yet. Okay. So I got to keep coming back.
Last night you were with the Kennard family. Yep. Unfortunately, Luke was not with us last night. How have you become close with Kennard?
So his wife, Anna, takes Pilates from my wife's best friend, Adrian. So that's kind of that's where that connection kind of came. And then we hang out, and we got a group of 4 or 5 couples that kind of hang out, and me and Luke just kind of pass off the friend group a little bit because I come back in town when they start the season, and he kind of leaves, and then when I leave for spring training, they're back in town a little bit more. So it's been fun to get to know them. They're good people.
Have you kept up with the Grizzlies throughout your travels all over playing with your baseball career? Because you would have grown up during the grit and grind era, right? When that team took over the city, that was your formative years as a sports fan, right?
That was when I was in high school. I was at, probably 20, 25 games a year. I was at every playoff game. We were buying the cheapest playoff tickets we could get and go sit in the rafters, watch us play Oklahoma City or San Antonio or whoever it was during those days. I was diehard when I was younger, especially in high school. Once me and my friends got to where we could drive and come down here on our own and come to games, we were here a ton. And then, followed them. Up until the last few years when we've moved back home. We were in Nashville for a few years, so didn't get to come to as many games, and we've been back home in Memphis for the last 3 or so. So back coming to games and loving being a fan again.
Why have you made Memphis your home?
Family. This is where me and my wife are both from here. So,
you are?
Yep, we've got 2 kids, and both sets of grandparents are here, so we got all the babysitting help that we need.
Perfect. All right, so we're going through you're telling your whole life story. Uh-oh. You grow up here.
Okay.
Elementary school, where'd you go?
I went to ECS for kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade. I then went to Farmington Elementary for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and then back to ECS in 6th grade through graduating high school.
So you were Eagle forever, because Farmington's Eagles too, right?
Falcons.
Falcons.
Another bird of prey, but yeah, close.
Another bird of prey.
There you go.
You were close.
I'm a mascot guy, so yeah.
All right. Then, as you're playing high school baseball, when does it? Did you play all 3 sports when you were at ECS?
I played football and baseball for all 4 years. I played basketball my freshman and senior year. I took a break from basketball my sophomore and junior year because it was the one that I was the worst at by far. So I focused on football and baseball for 2 years, and then went back to after I'd committed to Mississippi State, and I kind of had the college recruiting process out of the way. I loved basketball, so I went back and played again my senior year.
But everybody now. I don't want to say everybody. A lot are getting into the specialized sports, and you are another example. I can't tell you how many athletes we bring in here, and so many of them played multiple sports while they were growing up and actually preach the benefits of.
If I'm ever asked by a group of parents or a group of kids, what's the advice I have? It's always play as many sports as you enjoy for as long as you can. I just think there's so many benefits to putting yourself in different types of competitive environments. First of all, physically developing wise, like when you're 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, if you have to go through different movement patterns, you have to accomplish different goals in different sports, you're going to create a better all-around athlete. And then from a non-physical aspect, you're building more relationships with people. You're figuring out what you like, what you don't like. You're putting yourself in different environments to develop as a person as well. So that's my biggest piece of advice always is, as long as you're enjoying playing multiple sports and you're playing them at a level where it's fun for you, I would keep playing as many as you can for as long as you can.
Which one is the hardest?
Which sport is the hardest of those 3?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was the worst at basketball, but I think I was better at football in high school than I was baseball. But baseball is the hardest. I'm always going to argue that just because it's what I'm good at, and I have an ego, so I'll say baseball. I'll say baseball is the hardest.
Say less.
So in our defense, I don't think any of us we could stare down in a box and have 97 miles an hour come at our heads and be able to hit it.
I'm good on that. Yeah,
not a chance.
I'm good on that. That's why I quit baseball when I was a kid.
At what point did you realize you might have a future in baseball beyond high school?
So I knew, kind of like my sophomore year
of high school.
Of high school, I knew that I could play probably either football or baseball in college. I wasn't quite sure the level of each that I could play at. And then that's kind of where the recruiting process started. I was like, okay, which one do I actually think I'm better at now, and which one am I more likely to develop into a better player at so I can go play at a higher level of college, which is ultimately what happened. Mississippi State was kind of the first big school to offer me for baseball, and truth be told, I committed fairly quickly because, the reason I give is like, they offered me, and I was like, I don't think I'm good enough to play there, so I'm going to commit like right now before they realize that and take my take my offer away. So I think they're screwing up here, and I'm going to take full advantage of their mess up. I'm just going to go, and I'm going to commit and go be part of this awesome baseball program with this incredible tradition, incredible facilities, and all this stuff. And that was spring of my junior year, so during my junior baseball seasons when I got that offer and also committed. But really, seriously, up until that point, I thought that going to play football is what I was going to do because the interest I was getting for both sports was of smaller level schools, smaller D1 schools, some FCS schools, things like that. And I kind of figured, I think at that point in my life, I enjoyed football more. So if that's the level I'm going to be able to play either at, then I think I'd rather play football. But then because I got the opportunity to go play in the SEC and go play at this super prestigious baseball program, I took that, committed, and then went from there.
Okay, so when you come out of high school, all these baseball kids, they can get drafted out of high school. It is much different than the other sports. And so were you drafted out of high school?
No, I did not. I was not that guy. I was not like high prospect draft guy. Wasn't highly rated on any of the recruiting sites for baseball, which is seriously why
you didn't even stay up that night disappointed.
No, there was no expectation.
I'm going to Mississippi State.
There was no expectation of getting drafted at all. That wasn't even a thought in my head. I wasn't even like the perfect game sites, the whatever, all the recruiting sites. I wasn't highly rated on any of those. Partially because I took a little bit longer to develop. I was kind of a late bloomer physically, and then also partially because a lot of those ratings are based on how many events you go to in the summer, how many showcases you go to, and I was playing the other sports as well. So I wasn't I was playing each sport in its season and not doing one sport year round to where you get kind of highly ranked on those. And I'm not saying that's the reason I wasn't highly ranked. I wasn't highly ranked because I wasn't that good, and I will be the first to admit that.
Were you fish out of water when you felt when you first get to Mississippi State? Do you feel like I'm not good enough for this level?
100%.
Really?
Oh yeah, that first fall I really struggled. I was in way over my head. I remember a month or two into fall scrimmages, I was getting beat up and I couldn't compete, and I legitimately started looking like, all right, maybe I should transfer and go play D2 football because at least I know I can do that.
Wow.
Our coach, Coach John Cohen was our head coach. He's now the AD at Auburn. But we did a thing at the end of every fall where he hands everybody a packet and you go through and you rank your teammates like 1 through 20. Like, who do you think the best player is all the way through 20? And they take all the results and they hand the packets back to us at the end of the fall. Like, here's the ranking system of your teammates. Yeah, and I was
where your teammates rank you.
I was 19 out of 20.
That's dangerous.
I was ranked by my teammates as the second worst player on our team as a freshman. So yeah, rightfully so. Like, I'm admitting I was not very good. I was not ready for that level of competition. I got dominated on a pretty consistent basis that first fall.
So what happens from there?
So we have our end of the fall meetings, and it's basically the option is like, hey, like, we like you here. We think you're going to develop. We think you're going to get better. Your teammates like you, et cetera, et cetera. So we want you to stay on. We want you to redshirt this spring because we don't think, you're not in a position right now where you can help us compete or help us win games yet. So we would like for you to stay on redshirt. If you want to transfer and go play JUCO and try to go somewhere else, or go play JUCO for a year and try to come back, like, that's on the table as well. If that's what you want to do, we totally understand.
Are you crushed by this?
No, I was fully expecting it. No, yeah. Okay. So this did not come as a surprise. At this point in my career, I legit thought baseball was just something I was going to do for 4 years of college. I was going to graduate. I was going to move on, go get a job, do whatever. So, I was like, yeah, I'll redshirt. Like, I don't care. I like it here. I like my teammates. I like being a part of a program that's this good and has this much success. So I'll very, very happily take the red shirt, try to develop, try to get better to a place where I can contribute. I would love that. And if that doesn't happen, then, I still get to be a part of this and get to be here, a place that I enjoy and I like. So I took the red shirt, and that's what I did that spring.
Okay, and then what happens the next year?
Next year, I play a little bit.
They ranked you 18th.
I think I was higher. I was higher. I wasn't 19th out of 20 anymore. Yeah. That first fall, I was just happy to not be 20th. I was like, all right, 19th. There's one guy that I'm better than. That's
who was the good?
Did he quit?
It was 20.
He didn't last very much longer. So yeah, I ended up being the last guy that stuck around. The next year, I played sparingly. I got probably 80 or 90 at-bats over the course of a year. I did okay, hit like 260, hit a couple homers. Was definitely significantly better than I was the previous year.
Are you feeling like now, okay, I can play on this level?
Yeah.
Okay, so by sophomore, I guess
my redshirt freshman year. Yeah, I thought, I don't know to what extent that is, right? I don't know how good I can be, but I do think that I'm good enough to at least be a part of this team and to contribute in some way.
When does it all turn?
It was, we're still kind of a ways away, so I'll keep telling the story. Yeah. So that summer, college, you go off and play summer ball. You go to various, there's 8, 10, 12 leagues, whatever it is around the country. You go to them and play 40-year games during the summer to kind of get some at-bats and keep developing. That summer between my redshirt freshman, redshirt sophomore year, I go off, play in the New England League, and have a really, really good summer. When things started to kind of click that summer. I got way better. I was bigger, stronger, more physical. I had kind of figured out hitting at a more advanced level. So I went MVP of that league, start to get draft interest, start to kind of have the scouts, they send you questionnaires and they send you things to fill out or whatever. You start having meetings with them in the fall. So that's kind of when that started. And at that point, it was that summer. So my second summer in college after my redshirt freshman year, where I was like, okay, like I think I can get drafted now. Like, I think I'm good enough to. Maybe I'm a later pick. Maybe it's a, there was 40 rounds at that point. So maybe it's like a 10 to 20th round pick. I get to go off, have a chance to at least play some pro ball and see what happens. That spring, I had a really good fall. Again, I played, or for the first time really, I had a good fall. I established myself like I'm a starter now. I'm going to play every day. I'm going to get my at bats. I'm going to be a part of this team. We're really, really good that spring. We're ranked top 5 most of the year. We have, I think at this point, like 8 guys from that team have played in the big leagues at some point. 8
you
or
had
9.
8
yeah, off that one
Major League
team.
Baseball players off the Mississippi State
on
team?
that one college team. I think it's 8 at this point. Some really, really good players. We get beat in the Super Regionals by Arizona. Didn't get to Omaha, which sucked. but we're still a really, really good team. Go off that summer. I go to the Cape Cod League that summer, which is kind of the best league as far as summer ball goes. Have another good summer. Make some swing changes that kind of make me take the next step forward. And then that following fall, or I should go back a little bit. I do get drafted after that year. So after 2016, I got drafted very late, 38th round. Decided to not take it. Wanted to come back to school for my 4th year. Try to keep developing.
What'd they offer you?
Money-wise?
Yeah.
They got to $250.
$250?
$250,000. $250,000. Yeah.
He said
$250,000.
Okay.
$250,000. And so, but that is a choice you're making at that point.
For
It's
sure.
like,
Yeah.
hey,
I mean,
man,
I'm 21 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
Here's $250,000 or playing your senior year at Mississippi State.
Right. And I thought I just kind of had I had a feeling. I felt myself continuing to get better. I was like, you have it's not an agent at that time because that's not allowed, but it's an advisor or whatever, and they become your agent. Yeah. And I have conversations with them. I'm like, look, guys, and my coach back at Mississippi State too, because you're talking with them through the whole process. They want to know whether you're coming back or whether you're going to sign, so they can build a roster and go from there. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I really think I'm like one or two things away. Like there's one or two things left that are going to click, and I'm going to become really, really good. And I just kind of had this confidence, and I had this feeling that was going to happen. So I went and played that summer, didn't sign, decided to go back to school, kept working, made some swing changes, made some made some approach changes.
You're looking at it,
man. He made history that next year.
And
SEC and A categories.
That fall, things just kind of started to click.
You think?
Yeah, it started to click.
College baseball player of the year, SEC player of the year, 387, 23 bombs, 82 RBIs, winning only the second Triple Crown in SEC history.
The first player in SEC history to have 20 home runs, 30 doubles, and 75 RBIs in one season.
I guess it clicked.
It clicked. Things started to click. It was that fall. I just I don't know what it was. I just kind of started dominating our scrimmages, and I was like, this is new. Like I've been good, I've been productive, but this level of success is this is new and it's tangible because I know the things that I've done. I know the adjustments I've made to get to this point. So I think it's real, and you have coaches at that point kind of begin to instill confidence in you too. I remember. Our head coach just kind of looked at me after one fall scrimmage. He's like, "Look, I think you're going to win SEC Player of the Year." This is in October, right? Way before the season. He's like, the jumps and the improvements I've seen you make. I think you're going to win SEC Player of the Year. And I was like, I mean, I think you're insane, but maybe. I think I'm going to have a good season and be a good player. But I don't think I'm at that level. And then we get to the spring, and that success just kind of continued over that entire season.
Is it all a confidence thing at that point, right? Because obviously he's saying that to you and you're not very confident. But then once you start killing it, is it one of those things where it seems like your story all along the way, you question yourself, then you perform, then you start to believe you can do it.
That is a very recurring theme, and it's definitely a pattern throughout my entire career. It's starting in college, what has happened for me at every level, college, and then rookie ball, high A, double A, triple A, the big leagues. I get to a new level, I struggle for a while, I make some adjustments, I figure it out, I start to get confident, and then I have a lot of success. And then it just kind of repeats the next level. And that's happened kind of all throughout my journey, all throughout my career.
But at some point you're like, this is taking entirely too long. I can't do this.
I want to go
single A, double A.
I would love to go to one level where I don't have to struggle to make an adjustment. But that's not how it works.
But
right?
which is so crazy because people look at your story and then they see you make an All-Star team a couple years ago and they're like, hold on, I remember Brent Rooker. We remember him playing in the SEC. We remember him being Golden Spikes guy, National Player of the Year, SEC Player of the Year, whatever. Why didn't it take? Why isn't he already in the majors? Why are we seeing all these other young guys? And your trek again, but you end up doing it. Yeah. It's just later than others.
It was about a lot. I made my major league debut in 2020. During the COVID year, I played really well for 7 games, and then I get hit by a pitch, I break my arm, I miss the rest of that season. 2021, I don't make the team out of spring training. Was very disappointed.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna let you just skip over that. The breaking the arm is crazy.
You skipped all the way to my major league debut.
Okay, fair.
But what the hell happened between you being the best college player in the world and 2020?
I get drafted in 17. So 17, 18, 19, 20, like that's fairly quick.
Yeah.
I was a very good minor league player. Like at every level of the minor leagues, I did struggle for a bit, but I did adjust. I did get better, and I ended up dominating every level of the minor leagues until the major leagues. So I did, as a guy who had success in college, as a guy who was a high draft pick, like I did what I was supposed to do at each minor league level to continue to move up and get promoted and get to the major leagues.
Are you thinking it's taking a long time or no?
No, I mean not.
Yeah,
Like objectively, it didn't take me a long time to get to the major leagues. It took me a long time to establish myself and stay there. But to get there initially, from like 2017, 2020,
that's not long.
That's not. I mean, yeah, it's pretty normal.
So now let's start back at 20. 20, you get your arm broken.
20, I broke my arm. It's the rest of the season after playing. I mean, it was 20 at bats, so obviously extremely small sample size, but played very well. Get hurt, miss the rest of the year. 2021, I don't make the team out of spring training. I'm the last cut out of camp. I'm disappointed in that, obviously, but someone gets hurt literally the second inning of opening day, so I get called up the next day. Play a little bit, get some decent run in April, really struggle, do not perform at all, do not hit well at all, get sent back to AAA at the end of April, where I'm there until late July. Again, like I was a very good minor league player. Like I dominated AAA for those 4 months or whatever, put up some really good numbers, hit a bunch of homers, get called up at the trade deadline 2021, so late July.
But now you don't want to be, at that case, you don't want to be quad A, like they call it, right?
No, yeah,
which is every time they send me down to AAA, I destroy it.
And they
every time they call me up.
Right? And there's a ton of those guys who are just, there is a massive gap between AAA and the big leagues, bigger than I think people realize. Like it feels like a different sport when you're kind of going back and forth between the two. And
is it the pitching?
Yeah, it's the pitching. It's the information they have on you. It's the scouting reports. It's the defense, which is something people don't talk about. Like the defense is way better. So even like if you put the ball and play well and make good contact, like there's better defenders out there.
You get hits in AAA that you just do not get in the majors.
Exactly. So like you were talking about, there's a ton of guys who fall into that group of guys who are too good for AAA but just can't quite do it in the big leagues, and they stick around for a while. They play really well in AAA, or they go to Japan or go to Korea and go make their money over there and have really good careers over there. But that's in 2021, I'm doing my best to not fall into that category. So I get called up back up at the end of July. I get 200 bats, so I get a pretty good run, pretty good, and I do okay, right? I hit, I think during that time, I ended up on the year like a little over 200 with 9 homers, but that included me going like 3 for 40 in April. So like from July to the end of the year,
it's tough to overcome 3.
It's
right?
tough to
especially if you're only getting 200 at bats.
It's a tough hole to dig out of.
A fifth of those.
Tough hole to dig yourself out of. If you're not up, I mean, if you're up the whole year, it gets and you get 600 at bats, it's not quite as tough. But so I think from the time I get called up from July to the end of the season, I probably hit 230, hit 8 homers. So like I played decent, like not blowing anybody out of the water, nothing crazy, but like I'm an above average hitter. I'm productive. I'm driving in some runs, doing some things like that. So that year ends like that. I come into 2022. You just want me to keep going?
Yeah. I was going to ask you your welcome. I was going to ask you, what was your welcome to the league moment? Like as we go back to the story, as we continue. When you said, "Oh, whoa, this might be a little bit different."
Yeah, did you face like Clayton Kershaw or
some
something?
competition?
Yeah, Max Scherzer was like, "Yo, okay, this is different."
I can't hit him.
So it was. I think it was actually like some of the first games I played in 2021 when I got called back up were in Oakland, and that was at that Oakland team was really, really good. Like they were making playoffs. They had a ton of guys, and the pitching staff they ran out there with some of their relievers was just like, all right, this is I'm in trouble here. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And like I said, that was when I was in the midst of like a 3 for 40 stretch, and I was like, I might never get a hit again.
Was it one pitcher you were like, oh, okay?
You were like, I didn't even know you let go of the ball.
Yeah, you ever read about anybody, then you like saw the pitcher, you're like,
I'm trying to think back to that year and like early that year who I saw that would have just dominated me.
Oh, that's different.
Nothing. So this honestly, nothing stands out because every guy was like that. I'm trying to think of like every single guy. Like I was just like, I don't know how I'm gonna hit that guy. I don't know how.
Okay, but now that you are an awesome hitter, who stands out?
So this question's interesting because like there are guys who are not guys you would think of as like the top 5 hit pitchers in the league who I really, really struggle against for whatever reason. And then there's guys who are like Tarek Skubal won the Cy Young, won the Triple Crown this year as a pitcher in the American League, and like I have dominated him in my career. So it's like,
Cy Young,
and like me and Tarek have joked about that. It's funny. Just like I have really good numbers against him for whatever reason, but there's other guys who are still really good pitchers, but not like the top end of the league who like I get up there, I just feel like I have no chance against. Nick Pivetta is a guy like that with Boston. He dominates me. Jose Barrios dominates me. Jack Flaherty, I have a really hard time with.
Oh, that's your guy, isn't it?
Yeah, former Cardinal.
Yeah. He's. I don't see him well at all. He gives me trouble. Chris Sale is tough. I had 3 at-bats him this year. He struck me out twice and I homered once, but the 2 strikeouts were really, really bad. So I feel like he still kind of won that matchup.
All right, let's go back to 2022. We didn't want to get you off.
2022. 2022, I come into spring training. I feel like I have a pretty good chance to make the team. I get traded the day before opening day from Minnesota to San Diego.
Are you crushed?
Yeah, I'm upset about it. I like my teammates
in Minnesota. It's a lot warmer.
Yeah, way better. First, when we finished, the day I got traded, we had a workout at the stadium in Minneapolis. We just gotten up there, and it was probably like 35 degrees. So, yeah, way warmer. But, I mean, I get traded to San Diego, but they immediately sent me to AAA.
Does it just hurt your feelings, though?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I thought y'all believed in me.
A little bit. And it was like the group that was kind of coming into the big leagues at that time was – like the guys I had come up playing with. So it was kind of like the guys I got drafted with, the guys I played AA, AAA with, had kind of grown close with. Like it was kind of almost like our time to take the team, right? And like I was kind of seen as the one who was expendable to send out, and the rest of that group kind of got to keep going and do that. Which, yeah, I mean,
so it hurts your feelings.
Yeah, that sucks, and it hurts, and it wasn't fun.
And now you have to prove yourself to a group of people that have no stake in you, right?
Exactly. So I get optioned immediately, get sent to AAA. It's kind of the same story.
I play great in AAA. Nobody
I dominate
cares.
AAA from then until end of July. I get called up very sporadically with San Diego. I get 7 at-bats total. I probably get called up 3 or 4 times. I'd get called up. I'd sit on the bench for 2 days. I get sent back to AAA, and I repeat that process kind of over and over again. But again, played really, really well in AAA, put up huge numbers.
Where are you living at this point? Do you just keep on renting apartments everywhere?
Yeah, so
every time you're playing AAA?
Yeah, that summer.
You do?
I do. That summer, I went Airbnb to Airbnb just weekly because they changed the AAA schedule after 2020.
You rented an Airbnb every week?
Yeah. So AAA schedule is now like you travel on Mondays, you play Tuesday through Sunday, every Monday's off. So you're at least in the same city from Tuesday through Sunday every week. So I was in El Paso is where that AAA team was. I'd get an Airbnb in El Paso for those 6 days, move all my stuff out, we go on the road, come back, get a new Airbnb for 6 weeks.
Where's your stuff?
Yeah, so like, how much stuff did you have?
It's just crammed in my car.
So real grinder, man.
Yeah, no, I mean but that's the reality of the whole minor leagues. I mean, really, unless like
are other guys doing that? Renting out a Airbnb every week?
Oh, he was getting paid, bro. Come on.
For me, it was like, he
did not have some kind of big contract at that point, right?
No big contract, but I mean,
You made enough money.
I had enough
pay for
Airbnb time
Airbnb.
I was making enough money to be okay.
Where's your wife?
She's back at home, so she's here, or not here. We were still in Franklin at that time, so she's in Franklin. Coming out to visit sporadically.
To your Airbnb?
Yeah. Whatever she can.
We got a new one this week.
Yeah.
Did she ever go to the wrong one and you're like, no, that was last week's Airbnb?
Yeah, you don't want to.
I bet you've got a 5-star rating on Airbnb.
Yeah. I've got a lot of trips booked.
You were like a super host or whatever they call them, right? Super customer.
So
Brent Rooker.
That's kind of the reality. Because, I mean, I was like, I can get an apartment, like a longer-term thing, but I keep, like, every time I'd start to do that, I'd get called up and be like, okay, well, maybe this is the time I'm going to stick in San Diego, right? Maybe I'm going to get a shot now to play, and then 3 days later I'm back. So it wasn't worth it. I went there's always a team hotel. I stayed in the team hotel a lot or did Airbnb or whatever. Then July, that trade deadline, I get traded from San Diego to Kansas City. To the Royals.
So now you've been Minnesota, San Diego,
Kansas City now.
Kansas City. You're already 3 within a year's time.
Yep. So get the call, get traded to Kansas City. They send me to AAA. I'm there for like.
Did you go into the office and said, "Stop trading me"? Why am I being traded every 2 months?
I did think when they traded for me, I got that call and I was like, okay, they're gonna put me in the big leagues. They're gonna give me a shot. And then the next call I get's like, hey, we're gonna send you AAA. And I was like, all right.
Let me call
so I go
Airbnb.
back there. I go to Omaha. I'm there for like 5 days. I play like 5 or 6 games. I hit like 4 homers, and then I get called up to Kansas City. I'm like, all right, great. Now here's my shot. Like now I'm getting my opportunity. I'm in Kansas City for a month and a half. I get like 25 at bats. So I'm like almost never playing. When I'm playing, it's pretty much exclusively as a pinch hitter, which is almost an impossible situation to succeed in consistently. 2 weeks left in the season. I get sent back to AAA. I play 2 more series. I mean, I don't know if you have the numbers pulled up, but like
Let me see. Hold on.
my AAA numbers when I was with Kansas City, I hit like 430 with like 9 homers in like 20 games. So it's like it was at the end of that year. I was like, this is
Babe Ruth,
this is dumb.
Babe Ruth
Right?
of AAA.
I remember talking to our AAA manager at the end of the year, and I was like, look, man, I don't know what the plan is here, but like this is stupid. I don't like me being here isn't doing anyone any good. Like, I'm not getting better. You're not like there's another guy in AA who maybe should be in AAA getting challenged. He's not here. I'm not getting better. This situation
I
is
just hit
this is dumb.
430 with 9 home runs in 20 games.
This just feels stupid.
What are we doing?
What's the plan? And obviously, AAA managers, they know some stuff, but they're not like super in the loop. So that season ends. I get DFA'd by Kansas City in November.
Which is what?
Which is taken off the 40-man roster, put on waivers. Basically, would be the. I don't know how other sports waiver systems work, but like we have our 40-man roster. And then your active roster is 26-man, but you have to be on the 40-man to be on the 26-man. So there's a 26, and then there's the other 14 either on ILs or spread out normally through AAA, maybe a couple guys in AA. So I get put on waivers, taken off the roster.
And there's for sure a lot of politics in all of this too, because you're not a chosen, right? Everybody always wants to prove that they were right about their acquisitions or they was right about their draft picks or whatever.
I'm several teams removed from the team who drafted me at this point.
Right.
So.
Who's got stock in Brent Rooker?
So Oakland picks me up. They were the first team on the waiver wire. They picked me up, and then that's where I have been since. So 2023, I come into spring training with Oakland.
So are you sitting there when you get your opportunity with Oakland and you pop off and you make an all-star team or whatever? Are you going, I could have done this 2 years ago if you guys would stop
let me cook,
putting
bro.
me in AAA?
Yeah, let me cook, and I gotta get on this.
That thought definitely exists, but at the same time, like I don't know. I don't know if I would have, right? Like, and the reality is
you weren't really a late bloomer. You were a late chance getter.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is that fair?
Yeah. But
because if you were killing it in AAA,
which
theoretically,
yeah,
right. But you got to get the reps.
You got to get the opportunity,
and you just kept bouncing to places where the reps are not available.
Right. So that thought definitely exists. Like, wow, I wish this would have happened 2 years ago. I would have been in a different place in my career, whatever. But like at the same time, it's like I don't know. If I had gotten the opportunity earlier, I don't know if I would have taken the same advantage. I don't know if things are going to turn out the same way. Like, I mean, comes down to like as little a thing as like maybe the 60 at-bats that I got in Omaha when I was in AAA there, like maybe I made some adjustments in those at-bats that allowed me to have the success the next year. So maybe if I don't have those specific at-bats in Omaha, I'm not the same player I am right now because there's like I don't learn something from that one specific at-bat or that one game where I made this adjustment. That doesn't continue to pay off down the line. Yeah. So, I mean, I of course, I'm human and I have those thoughts. Like if you guys would have given me this chance 2 years ago, I could have done the same thing, but I don't know if that's the case. So it doesn't help me to dwell on that. I just have to live and accept the reality and be happy with the reality that I got the opportunity when I did, and I was prepared and ready at that time to take advantage of it.
You know what just dawned on me, Roser, as we were having this conversation? So Roser and I are big sports collectibles nerds. We collect, right? What is a Brent Rooker rookie? Like, what is he got? Is it like 2000?
Your Bowman, your first Bowman Chrome.
Yeah, those are big ones.
Yeah.
I'm not a card guy, but I do know those are big ones.
Yeah, but I mean, like, would it be 2020?
Oh,
are we going back to that?
2017 in a Twins jersey.
The Bowman first is only when you get drafted, right?
Yeah, 9.5 grade. Is that good?
Yeah.
It's going for $2,000 on eBay right now.
$2,000?
Well, let's see what they say.
You say you would pay that?
That's way too much.
No, that's
way too much.
No. You can get one just sold November 30th. The gold out of 50 refractor auto sold for $187.
What's this I'm looking at?
That's
then?
reasonable.
What am I looking at then?
You're
What's
probably
this?
just looking at what's for sale rather than what was actually like bought.
Yeah.
People can ask whatever they want.
He said no one's paying $20.
Oh no, that's an autograph. That's
it's an autograph
it's
joint.
his rookie autograph.
Yeah.
But it's from 2017.
Yeah, that specific card is always the Bowman first is always like on your draft year. It's not when you get not when you debut.
Yeah, that's right.
Again, I'm not a huge card guy, but I do know
And
that.
so,
I
and so
remember
then by
signing
the time you get to Oakland and you get your opportunity in Oakland, are you thinking, all right, I'm ready for this now. All I need is the opportunity. Or are we still having the confidence thing of what's going to happen if I get 500 or 600 at bats?
Yeah, right. I get claimed by Oakland that offseason. I am currently at this time. I'm in that category of like 4A, quad A guy. So what happens at offseason is like that's at that point in your career, like the Japanese teams start calling, like they want to come get you if they think that's a chance. But they think there's a chance you want to come over and play over there for a few years and make some money. I mean, they pay great money in Japan. Like there's guys who go over there and make a ton of money, have great careers. So Japanese teams call, they start out talking to my agent. We have some meetings with them, and basically my decision is, all right, like, do I want to take this? Do I want to go to Japan and kind of go this route in my career? Or do I want to give this one more season with Oakland? Like, I've talked to their front office. I've talked to our manager.
You were really at that point.
Oh, yeah.
One more year.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to give it one more crack.
I think that was a conversation I had with my agent. I was like, I think this is, if I'm going to get an opportunity to be a full-time guy, I think this is the best one I'm going to get. So let's give this one more year, see how it goes. And if not, then we know the Japan opportunity will be there the following year. So I go into camp. I have a really good spring training. I do exactly what you have conversations with them going into spring, and like, here's, you have a good chance to make this team. Here's kind of what we see your role as. These are the things we need to see out of you to fill that role. I do all of those things really well in camp. I end up being like the last guy to make the team out of that spring training. I get told after our last exhibition game, 2 days before opening day, that I get like I've gotten the last roster spot. I earned that last roster spot. I made the team. So that was super cool. And then the first probably week of that season, I'm filling that initial role, which is what they laid out for me, which is like, hey, you'll start against lefties, you'll pinch hit against lefties. Like, that's kind of where we see you on this team, as the guy who platoons, who plays against left-handed pitching, and who fills that void on our roster. And I have some good at-bats early on. An injury or two happens, some things happen where I start to get more consistent at-bats against righties and lefties. I kind of become an everyday starter. I have a really, really good first 6 weeks or so.
Well, and then it says on May 1st, Rooker was named the AL Player of the Week, 10 for 24, 5 home runs, and 11 RBIs in a week.
That's crazy. I got
a week?
Yeah, what'd you do that week? What'd you do?
Good Airbnb?
Great
Airbnb. What you on that week?
I had a full-time apartment, actually, so that was nice.
did?
I was
Okay,
settled
good.
into one place.
What did happen that week?
I came out that season, and I just had a really, really, like, I was just hot for the first 6 weeks. I felt locked in. I was
see the ball
seeing the
differently.
ball well, putting good swings on pitches. I wasn't missing stuff. I had a great first 6 weeks, put up some huge numbers. And then that's kind of when, like, that was the point where I kind of had established myself. Like, okay, like, I'm here. I can do this every day. I can be productive. I can do this at a high level.
But you go from that. This is now your first opportunity, and then by July you're in the All-Star game. Which is insane to think. Like, now that we've heard your whole story, that was your first real chance, and then you're walking into an All-Star game locker room.
Yeah, that was wild. The All-Star game was wild because, I mean, I don't know. I'm walking in there and you see the rest of the jerseys hanging up, and you're like, I definitely don't belong here. Like, I don't know I don't know who put me here or why I'm here, but like, I don't fit in with the rest of these guys. But it was, I mean, that first season, there were a lot of ups and downs in 2023. Like I said, I had a really, really good first 6 weeks, a really, really bad next 6 weeks. I kind of had to battle back out. I mean, because what happens is you get to the big leagues, and it's your first taste of success. The first time you have extended success, the league figures it out and the league adjusts. And then you got to be good at something else, right? So I had those really successful first 6 weeks, first month and a half, doing what I was really good at, and then the league figures it out and say, okay, well, we know what you're good at now. We're going to make you do something you're not good at anymore.
Right.
If you want to continue to have success. So I really struggled the next 6 weeks. and then refigured it out kind of, and was pretty good the second half of the season. So that's kind of where the confidence comes from for me. It's not even after the first
being able to figure it out over and over and over again.
So I found the video of you reacting to when you found out you were an All-Star. Like, you were emotional. So was it just like everything all coming to a head, like all these Airbnbs?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of disbelief. It was I gave an interview that day when the teams came out, and I found out I made it, and I was like, look, for a long time I have believed in myself to the point where like I thought I could be a good major league player, but I have not been naive enough to think that I could be an All-Star. Like, I haven't allowed my self-belief to reach that level. Because it had seemed so far-fetched for so long.
But you understand how much different that sounds than the normal athlete. Like, you're very forthcoming.
I should have made it before this.
I do.
Right. You're very forthcoming in the sense of saying, my coach told me, I think you can be SEC Player of the Year, and you sit there and I was like, nah, stop.
Yeah.
Right? Or I'm in an All-Star game locker room. There's a lot of guys that, I deserve this. I should be here. Whereas to you sat back and like, nah, my dream was never that big. My dream was to be a Major League Baseball player.
Right there.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It was.
What's in the box?
Champagne.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was for a gift from our manager. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was like, for a long time, I'm like, I can be a major league player. Like, I can do this. I can be a guy who sticks around for a few years and has some success and plays some games. But not since I was a little kid, when you think you're going to be the best player ever, did I think I was capable of reaching the level that it takes to make an All-Star game.
So then what happens last year?
2020.
It's such a strange year to be amazing, right?
Yeah.
Because you were like top 5 in home runs, you're top 5 in RBIs, you're top whatever 10 or 15 in average. Like, I mean, you're one of the top 5 hitters in the major leagues last year. Win a Silver Slugger, the whole thing. All the while, the only story about the A's that people see on a regular basis is this last season in Oakland, and fans being upset about this, and they're losing their team and whatever else. Meanwhile, you're bombing away in the middle of this crazy ending to an Oakland franchise.
Yeah, it was an interesting year from our perspective as players in the organization, because there was a lot of emotions surrounding it. There was a lot of outside noise. There were a lot of narratives that kind of went with it, and we just kind of had to make sure we stayed internally focused, knowing that 2023 we weren't good at all, had a really, really bad year, but we knew coming into 2024 that while we might not be at the point of contention or competition yet, that we had the right pieces in place or the right pieces coming to get closer to that window. And that's where our focus was. We did a great job. Mark Kotze, our manager, did a great job dealing with all of that stuff for us, kind of taking it off of us and allowing us just focus on playing and getting better and improving. And we had the right group to kind of deal with it at the same time.
And now you're moving.
Now we're moving.
You're Sacramento now.
We'll be, Sacramento for the next 3 years.
But it's not a Sacramento.
I think
you're
we're
just an athletic.
Just the Athletics. I don't think we're attached to the city name.
Did you do something with the Kings last night?
Yeah, I did a little something with their social media team. So we'll see if that comes.
What was it?
They asked me a bunch of Kings trivia, which I didn't know much of. But I'm
did
hoping
you tell them you're a Grizzlies fan?
Oh yeah,
you did. Wait, so were you wearing a Grizzlies shirt when you did the trivia?
No, I should have, which would have been good.
It would have been amazing. I want to know about because you wore number 25.
Yeah.
Mark McGwire wore number 25 with
Yeah.
the A's. Did that have anything to do with wearing 25? Because I know when you hit them home runs, you signed.
Oh, that's wild.
No, I have always been 19, like all through high school, college, and then with the Twins, I was 50 my first year. Then I was 12 with the San Diego. Then I was 55 with Kansas City, and then Oakland claimed me, and I was just given 25. Which, I mean, I was like, that's a good number. I'm not going to request to change it. Like, I'll definitely take that. And then I had success with it, so I've just stuck with it.
Because that's Mark McGwire.
But I mean, I was a Cardinals fan growing up, so like I had Mark McGwire posters, and that transitioned to Albert Pujols posters, obviously, when I was a young kid. So I thought the 25. The 25 aesthetic with the athletics it's a cool look.
It's a
for
vibe.
sure.
I just looked, I was like, oh, this is a little kind of.
It is a cool look. And so then what was different about last season for you? Because obviously this is by far your biggest season.
It's what I talked about earlier. I was just, so I think anybody can kind of go have a little hot streak, a little insanity, like Linsanity run, like people want to,
Right.
people use that term all the time.
Or like your first 6 weeks.
Like those first 6 weeks. A lot of people can do that, right?
Yep.
It's the ability to readjust and be good again after the league figures you out is where the confidence comes from. So like, I had that really hot first 6 weeks, and then I really, really struggled for 6 weeks. And it's during those 6 weeks where like the internal battle for me is like, okay, like, am I actually good, or did I just have like I had my moment, I had my stretch, and that was kind of it. Like that's what I have, and I can't do it anymore. I can't do it again. And it's the fact that I was able to finish that year strong after really slumping for a while that gave me the confidence and the reassurance and kind of the comfort to know going into 2024, like, okay, I know I'm going to struggle again because it happens to every player every year, but I now know for sure that I can come out of those slumps and I can come out on the other end and be good again even when they're happening. So I don't have to panic. I don't have to stress. I don't have to try to change everything when things aren't going as well because I know I've done this before and I can continue to do it again. So it's just like it was a confidence. I mean, a lot of it's confidence. A lot of it was I learned more about myself as a hitter. I learned more about how to hit major league pitching. I learned more about how to prepare at a really high level. But confidence was the main thing. And then when you sprinkle those other things in, the more tangible swing change, adjustment change, preparation change, when those two things combined, or those few things combined, I think that's kind of where the step forward happened.
You just got this minor procedure in the offseason. You said you played all of last season with it, right?
Yeah.
So now are you worried that now you've gotten it fixed?
I have thought about that.
Right? Bro, why are you getting anything fixed if you hit 39 bombs?
Because it hurt.
112. Okay. It hurt all year?
Yeah, I mean, it bothered me all year. But no, I've definitely had that thought.
What was it?
It's the extensor tendon in my right elbow was like torn off the bone. Is what the injury was.
Yeah,
so
that doesn't sound fun.
I had to put it back. Like, had to reattach it to the bone, anchor it down there.
You were hitting home runs with that?
But for sure, the thought has been like, well, what if like that was the reason that I was good? Now I fix it, and now I'm not going to be good. My arm's not going to work the same way.
I swear to God, if you hit 165 this year,
can you guys,
you're like, bro, mess up your elbow
yeah, we
again.
got to re-tear it. I need to go have surgery again, have them re-tear it off. But it's feeling better. PT is going great.
But
so.
you played the whole season
with
it?
I didn't play the second game of the year because that's when I went in the training room with it, and we had to go get an MRI and stuff that day. So I played 147 games this year.
Did they say it's fine to play with?
Yeah, it was just a pain
tolerance. Or was that
thing.
a decision you made?
It was basically a pain. Like the decision was made early, or was presented to me early in the year. Like, we can do the surgery now, or like if you think pain tolerance wise you can keep going, then we'll just let you keep going because you're not going to get.
Was there ever a time in the year where you thought, "Damn, bro, my
elbow
is killing me"?
There were some weeks where like it was hurting pretty bad. I never got to the point where I almost shut it down. Though it wasn't to the point where I didn't think I could play through it.
You played 145 games with a messed up elbow.
All right, let me ask you a couple. We got to ask you some baseball questions since you've had this career and you've played in a million stadiums.
Yeah, I got questions
The
too.
best AAA stadium.
It might be El Paso.
You've played in all of them.
It might be either El Paso. It's one of three. It's either El Paso, Columbus, or Charlotte.
And none of them are as nice as Mississippi State.
None of them are as nice as Mississippi State. Mississippi State is the best non-Major League Baseball stadium in the country, for sure. Like, for sure.
You played for the El Paso Chihuahuas?
Chihuahuas. Yeah,
That's amazing. Can we? We need merch.
Chihuahuas. They got a good logo.
Can we get a throwback Rooker Chihuahuas jersey?
Really good stadium there. Really good
logo.
AAA stadium.
They have an amazing logo.
Yeah, good logo.
We gotta find merch.
Good logo.
Here.
Chihuahuas baseball.
Do you have all of these jerseys?
No, because you don't get to keep the minor league jerseys.
Oh, you don't?
No, you give those back.
You gotta get your jersey? Oh, hell no.
I mean, I have all my major league jerseys, but like the minor league jerseys, you give those back. They reuse those.
You do not have a Chihuahuas jersey.
They just take the names off of them.
Yeah.
And give it to
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
AAA.
All right, so you would say El Paso probably.
I really like Columbus too.
logo.
It's one of those three.
It's a great logo.
It's a great logo. One of those three. I never played in the Vegas one. I've been there once. The Vegas AAA Park's really nice too. Really good there.
Even though you were tired
of those four.
Vegas. Your favorite Major League Baseball road trip? when you guys go play a series in a different city?
I love Boston. I like Boston as a city, and then playing at Fenway is awesome.
You do?
Yeah, Boston's my.
The history of it?
Yeah, and just
it
like
feels different than when you play other places.
There's a few stadiums that feel different, and Fenway is one of them. It feels like you're like on a movie because I mean you've seen it so much. Like it feels like you're on a movie set or like.
You hit one over the monster?
I've got 2 homers.
I just love to say, I'm looking up your numbers versus the Red Sox, and yeah, you'll see.
I got 2 homers.
That makes sense because even him as a Cardinals fan, we've gone to Wrigley, and Wrigley's
awesome.
It's cool. It's cool.
I think the favorite trip. I mean, we played the Cubs and White Sox back to back this year, so we were in Chicago for a week. So that's a fun. It's fun when you have those extended road trips. You get to like settle in a hotel and feel like you're in a spot for a long time.
What's the worst stadium? You walk in, you're like,
Tampa?
They just moved from it.
Tampa.
I don't want to get him in trouble. Oh yeah, you might get killed from something like falling on you, right?
Yeah. They're at the Yankees spring training now though, because their roof got torn off, which is kind of sad.
But, right.
Yeah, it did. So what's the worst? Tampa's the worst one?
I would say Tampa's. I'm not gonna say the worst. It's my least favorite.
Least favorite. My bad. My bad. My bad. I want to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Have you been starstruck? As you have gained baseball fame, either by somebody that you met that knew you, or maybe a player that you played against or came across, and you were like, "Oh, wow, I can't."
I would say so. I did. I went to the World Series this year in New York and did some media stuff with MLB, and just like being on the field pregame with a bunch of people, a bunch of the former players who were there. Me not expecting for them to know who I was at all, for them to come up and introduce themselves to me was really cool. Like that was kind of like I mean,
like Big Papi,
CC Sabathia, David Ortiz, like Ryan Howard, like these guys that I grew up watching. Like for them to come up and know who I am without having to introduce myself.
That's cool.
All right, that's kind of wild. Like
who was your favorite when you were growing up?
I was a huge Cardinals fan, so Albert Pujols was my guy. Yeah.
Have you met him?
I think I met him. I want to say I met him at the 2023 All-Star game, but I'm not 100% positive.
Then you didn't. You would remember that.
I know.
You remember that.
It was like a lot of. It was during media days. So there was a lot happening. It would have been a very brief interaction.
Right.
I wonder how the Jack White collab happened.
Jack is part owner of the bat company that I swing, that I use. War Stick is what it's called.
Have you met him? Is he amazing?
Oh yeah, no, Jack's awesome. Jack's great.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Jack White bat collab. That's elite.
War Stick is the company.
Jack White bat collab.
Ben Jenkins is the owner and founder. He played at Mississippi State in the 90s. So that was my connection there.
Okay.
The other majority owners are or other major investors are Jack and Ian Kinsler.
Oh, he played for the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, Ian played for the Tigers, Rangers,
I know him.
Padres, Red Sox briefly.
Oh wow.
You see it? You see the Jack White War Stick, whatever it's called, collab?
I do.
You got your whole collection. It's all sold out. I'm trying to buy some gloves, bro. It's also
Jack loves baseball.
He's a Nashville guy.
Yeah, he lives in Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
he's a Detroit guy. He's from Detroit. He's a huge Tigers fan. Really active in like the Detroit community. But he lives in Nashville.
I'm gonna ask the question that Devin is going to be most jealous of.
Oh man, what you got? Go ahead.
So what do baseball players get? No, when they are being introduced that no other sports get.
All the theme song.
The walk-up.
What's your walk-up song? Yeah.
So how many different songs have we used? Or do we always use the same one? How do we choose these?
Over the course of my
Everybody
career,
always does the walk-up song,
Yeah.
right? Like what would you actually can speak to this.
Over the course of my career, I've used a lot. I mean, throughout from college, through all the different minor league stops and things like that. Mine this year was Edge of 17. Stevie Nicks.
Really?
I wrote it the whole season. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to stick with it next year because it worked. So I'm not going to change it.
So wait, were you not superstitious about this? Did you not just keep the what? What did you use when you won all the awards at Mississippi State?
I was The Best Is Yet to Come by Frank Sinatra that year.
No best is yet to go. Why?
That's actually a crazy
Did your dad like it or something?
I like the lyrics. I like the message, and like
That is the wildest
dude.
song ever.
There's this there's a part where like I guess I'm not music. I guess it's trumpets, but like the trumpets like kind of drop, and when they blare it, like it was pretty sick. I'll tell you. No, okay, I'll tell a cool story.
It's like a Las Vegas commercial.
You asked the starstruck question too. This is a cool story that kind of relates to that. So I first heard that song as a walk-up song when Bryce Harper was in Washington one year. He had that as his walk-up song. And I went to a game. I was driving up to go play summer ball after my first year of college, and that was when Bryce was still in Washington. Me and my dad went to a game, and that was his walk-up song. I was like, okay, that's super cool. Like maybe I'll use that one day. And then so I used it my last 2 years of college at Mississippi State. And then we're playing Philadelphia this year, and first inning I hit a single, or first game I hit a single, and I'm on first base, and Bryce is playing first. And he said, hey, man, like, I just want you to know, like, you're really, really good now, but, like, you were nasty in college. Like, I watched you that whole season, like, you were sick. And I was like, that's very cool for you to say. Thank you. And then funny story for you is, my walk-up song that year when you're talking about was The Best Is Yet to Come, because I heard you have it in Washington, and I thought it was sick. So I decided to copy it and use it that year. And then he signed a jersey for me after the series and put The Best Is Yet to Come on it. So that was like,
That's awesome.
That's which is funny because, I mean,
you guys are having this whole conversation while you're standing on first base.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I talk to catchers during at bats. You're conversing. We're standing around like 80% of the time.
You got a clock now.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to look quicker. But yeah.
But you just have conversations.
Yeah. If you're on first base, I mean, if you're on first and you have a long at bat, and you know the first baseman, you chit chat.
Okay, so where does like the Stevie Nicks song come from?
I just thought it was cool. I liked it.
Stevie Nicks
Hey,
and
do y'all
Frank
talk about
Sinatra.
like? Do y'all like in the clubhouse? Y'all talk about that song is terrible. You guys.
Oh, all the time. Yeah, all the time.
Oh,
And
you
guys,
do?
there's a lot of guys who change it. Like Lawrence Butler, our leadoff hitter, has like 4. So like it's a different one every at bat. It's like
I see the website. He has 2 on his on the list on the website. He has On One Tonight by Gunna and a Sexy Red song.
Yeah, he used like 7 different Sexy Red songs. He would have a new. Yeah, that was one of them. Like that was like
that ass super fat.
Yeah, that was legitimately that was the part of the song they played for his walk-up song. To like, I think it was,
Girl, you know that ass super fat. I ain't lying.
Yeah,
He's like digging in.
Yeah. That was Law's walk-up song, or one of them, one of his several.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Who is your favorite teammate you play with?
Favorite teammate? That question is like, because I want to, like, I have my best friends, right? But like, I want to give an answer that's like some of them not necessarily, like, I'm not talking to regularly, but like I just respect like as a teammate. And there's a ton of those guys. I think Salvador Perez is like my favorite teammate.
Salvador Perez.
He is
awesome player too.
He's upbeat, incredible player. He's upbeat. He's happy. He's smiling all the time. He's a great leader. He is incredibly laid back and low key until some kind of confrontation happens, and then he's the first guy. Like he's the first one defending his guys all the time. And I see that. I mean, I was his teammate for a month and a half, so like I saw that during that brief time. I see that playing against him and see him watching him play. Salvi deserves all the respect in the world. He's awesome.
What do you think baseball could do to improve fans' acknowledgement of the stars in the sport, right? Because you could walk around, you walk around Memphis, and you would have to tell somebody like, "Hey, man, I was like one of the top 5 hitters in the major leagues, right?" And it's just so much different than when you and I were kids.
And it's a good. I don't know because I've had this conversation, and at the World Series actually, I was talking to George Kirby, who's one of Seattle's starters. He's one of the. I mean, he's probably top 10 pitcher in the league, has been for the last few years. Like he's really, really good. And we're in the suite, and there's like some NBA guys in the suite, there's some NFL guys in the suite, and then me and him were standing and talking. I was like, I think this is why people don't recognize us, because like me and you, like we look like this, and then like Carmelo looks like that. This is why people don't know who we are, because like
I think this is kind of double-edged too, though. I actually think that it's great. In some sense,
for day-to-day life,
more
day-to-day life.
No, you can live your life,
for sure.
right?
For sure.
But there's very few baseball players that are hugely famous now.
Yeah.
That can't.
I mean, Shohei.
That can't go in.
Shohei, Aaron.
What about Mike Trout? You think Mike Trout's on the list, or he just not recognizable?
But it's nice to be able to go out to eat with your family and not be bothered. Mike Trout could walk down Beale Street now.
I don't think he'd be recognized, which is weird. I mean, I think if he, I don't know.
No way.
Okay, yeah. Now I'm looking at
I mean,
it,
like legit, like Mike Trout, like might be the best player ever, like the best baseball.
But what
player
about
ever.
in Oakland? Can you walk around Oakland?
I get recognized some. I get recognized some here. Here and like at home in Oakland, I get recognized some. Not a ton, but like it happens a little bit. At Grizzlies games, like where there's like a collection of sports fans. Like,
It's just unfathomable to think when you were a kid or when I was a kid that a Major League Baseball All-Star
for sure
could walk around.
Yeah.
Do you think it has?
But I think that's good for you.
It has its benefits.
It's good
It
for
definitely
you.
has benefits,
It's
for
just
sure.
odd where we are within the context of baseball.
Yeah. You think it's a social media thing? Like, is it just like?
Yeah, I think
And the clips.
I don't know
not
what it is though,
being-
because like
No.
viewership it's not like baseball's falling off like from a consumption standpoint.
That's
'cause,
right.
Like, viewership's up. Like the
But
World
if
Series.
if you hit bombs and
I
I try to
hats
go
and helmets on too, like that.
But if
kinda-
I go to try to tweet about it, like, well, our boy
Okay.
Brent Rooker hit bombs last night, whatever, I can't post a video.
Yeah.
Yeah, MLB does crack down. They don't play
media
about
rights.
footage. Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
play about footage.
And that's what's in front of people's face all the time.
Yeah, social media.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what's in front of people's faces all
and
the time.
social media always leans to like. It leans very pop culture heavy, and for whatever reason, like our basketball and football are always more relevant in the pop culture's like
That's right.
sense than baseball is.
That's right.
And so I think so the social media aspect plays into it in that way too.
Yep.
Whereas I don't know if in the like 80s and 90s, I don't know if baseball was maybe more prevalent in like the pop culture environment, the pop culture world than it is now. And I don't know what the reasons behind that would be, but I don't know if that's changed. But that's, I mean, to me at least, even growing up, like basketball and football players are more involved in pop culture things than baseball players tend to be.
Is being a Major League Baseball player what you thought it was going to be?
In some aspects, yeah. In some aspects, it's different. It's cliche and it's whatever, but like like you realize when you're there, like, okay, this is what I do for a living, like, right, this is my job. I hate saying like that the glitz and glam wears off there after a while, because I recognize how fortunate, how lucky I am to be able to, like, my dream as a kid was to be a Major League Baseball player, and I'm getting to do that, and that's incredibly rare and incredibly special, and I don't want to ever take it for granted, but like after 117 games, like the grind, and you got 60 left or whatever, like the grind, like it wears on you a little bit, and you're like, all right, like let's do it again.
And being away from your family.
Right, being away from your family is tough. Traveling so much is tough. I've got a 3-year-old, so I mean, it's not fun being away from her, especially like the years when she was like 1 and 2. I had to be away from her for like several months at a time at times, just because of how what my situation was, and bouncing back and forth between all these places.
And there's
like,
only so
those
many
4
FaceTimes, right?
Yeah. And like a 1-year-old changes a lot in 2 months. So like if you go a month or 2 months without seeing her, like you're meeting a new person when you see her again. Like that's a tough aspect of it. But yeah, I mean it's a job, but it's at the same time it's an incredible job, and I'm lucky to get to do it. And I say like, you kind of get to you go like, all right, let's kind of go do it again. Let's play another game. But like you get to game time and you get ramped up, and the nervousness never goes away too, of like the anxious excitement, the like walking out on the stadium, like, wow, I get to do this again. Like that's really cool too.
The other thing that's a lot easier for fans to follow in the NBA and the NFL, which we talk about all the time, is transactions and salaries and the salary cap and all of that.
System.
And it's like, yeah, you can't understand anything that's going on with
really
baseball.
Complicated.
Yeah,
so
what the hell is going on with you, right? So now how do you get to cash in on this massive season?
Do it for 3 more years.
You really do.
3 more years? Dang.
I mean,
Why does it work this way? I mean, I'm sure you've probably asked yourself in the mirror 1,000 times, why does it work this way?
I've got 3 more years until I'm an unrestricted free agent. And
but do you go to arbitration every year, or?
So for your first 3 years, and this is not 3 years, because I have 3.5 years of service time, but that's over the course of 5 seasons. So it goes by, like, it's cumulative by how many days you're in the big leagues, not how many parts of seasons you're in the big leagues. Does that make sense?
Okay.
What I'm saying?
Yep.
So your first 3 years is league minimum. The following 3 years, years 4 through 6, it's called arbitration, and it's your team still has control over you, but you do get to negotiate your salary on a 1-year 3 different 1-year contracts, but that salary is based on precedent and player comps of other guys who are like you and what they made in their first year and their second year and their third year of arbitration.
So complicated.
I know, it's very complex.
So complicated.
And it's impossible to explain to people.
So you don't know what you're going to make next year?
I have an idea of like a range.
It will be, but that is decided in arbitration.
Yes. You only go to arbitration or to a hearing if you and the team cannot agree on a salary before a certain deadline.
Gotcha.
Yep. And then you go, if you can't agree, then you go to the third party arbiter and like you have a trial and you present your case and the team presents their case and the third party decides.
Good Lord.
It is so annoying. And also that just creates such tension.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It just does.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm fighting with my team,
Yeah,
and
that
they're
happens.
saying, "Nope, you're not worth that." You're like, wait,
Yeah.
hold on now.
Yeah.
Like, why are we fighting here?
There should be an agreement, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Why aren't you just doing right by me?
Yeah, I mean,
I would get my feelings hurt, and I would get pissed.
Settlements happen way more than arbitration than cases actually go to arbitration, but like that is the kind of last step if you can't reach an agreement.
That actually happened with what's his name, and he got pissed off. Flaherty.
Yeah.
The aforementioned, right?
Yeah, right. Jack Flaherty.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it was just, it ends up getting messy.
Yeah.
The guys
It
get their
does.
feelings hurt, and then they're mad at you.
It does. That
It's
happens.
like, bro, just take care of me.
Pay me my bread.
Right.
Yeah.
Pay me my bread.
happens.
I want to know what's the best piece of advice you've had in your career. Like somebody's told you and you live by it to this day.
From like a very baseball specific.
Just baseball life.
Baseball
just
advice.
that you just live by it to this day. Like you can't. I remember somebody told me this when I was this age, and I still.
I don't know if it's so much like advice as it has been. The things that stick with me like that are times when people whose opinion I have respected have put their confidence in me, right? Like when certain coaches have, like when my coach looked at me and said, "I think you're going to win SC Player of the Year," like that triggers confidence in you, and like those moments stick with you as you go throughout your career. And like players, like I remember the day that I found out in 2021 in spring training that I didn't make the team, like Nelson Cruz comes up to me and says, "Hey, like I know that you're not going to make the team at spring training, but like you're a good player. You're going to help us this year, and you're going to be a good player in the future." Like moments like that are what stick with me. Not so much as like do this or don't do this. It's just those times when, like, I mean, Nelson did it for 12 years, hit 400 whatever homers, was an incredible player. When people like that go out of their way to put their confidence in you and to encourage you, it sticks with you a long time, and it helps. I work with our mental performance coach a lot, and we have the thing, we call it reasons to trust. It's like when you start to doubt yourself, here's a list of reasons why that doubt shouldn't overtake you, because here's a list of reasons you've given yourself to trust your ability. And one of the categories of that thing is it's people like that who have told you, whose opinions you value and who know what they're talking about, who have told you that you're good enough. And like that's a thing that I go back to sometimes when I'm struggling. It's like all these people who have done it before and who know what they're saying, they believe in me, so like why shouldn't I believe in myself?
Not the Twitter troll.
That's great advice.
I love that. That's a bar.
Yeah.
I might use that one. That's why I asked you that. I wanted to use
The
that
other
myself.
thing I want to ask you is if there is, as you've told this whole story, I can't help but think to myself, I wonder, and all those people that came along the way, the coach that believed in you, the struggle you had at Mississippi State, the struggle you had here, there, whatever, to get to where you wanted to get to, I wonder if because of the way sports is now, there's so many times where, even in broadcasting, if I'm going and talking to people and they'll ask me, like, how do I get to do what you do, whatever, and I say, it's not really applicable anymore, right? Because I interned and then I was on radio and then I was like, there's so, like, your path is not going to be able to, it's not going to be the same path, right? Because my entry point into like radio and this kind of stuff is not what I would tell you to do right now. That's not going anywhere.
Right.
So, right. But and I wonder on your story too, if it's like, do you ever sit there and think, my story would never play out the same way given what's happened with NIL, given what's happened with the transfer rule, given what's happened with sports specialization, all of these things that it's like, I probably would have transferred from Mississippi State.
I would have never been in Mississippi. I would have never been there. Like,
You would have never been.
I got to Mississippi State as like The coach, I mean, I think our head coach or our coaching staff at Mississippi State probably saw me play football like more than they saw me play baseball. Because like I was going to Mississippi State as like I was an athlete who they thought they could develop into a baseball player. And with NIL and with the transfer portal, that kind of guy doesn't get to the SEC now. That kind of guy goes to a mid-major, and then if you develop at the mid-major, then the SEC comes and gets you. And that's how the transfer portal has affected recruiting. It's like
there's no way. So the answer is your story is no way.
I don't know
the
what
same.
it looks like. It's very different because, I mean, if I'm an SEC head coach, like, do I want to waste my time and resources, or not waste, but do I want to use my time and resources on the 18-year-old who I don't know if he's going to be good or not, or do I just want to go get this mid-level D1's college's best player who I know is already good? So
and
like,
maybe you never develop into
I might
the
never,
player
exactly.
if you would have gone to a lesser school.
Exactly. So if I'm Mississippi
Like
State,
you're around those players, you're around those coaches. That made you develop into whatever you became.
Exactly.
But that's maybe not the
That wouldn't have
story
been-
if
no,
you went
yeah.
to Evansville or
I would have
wherever.
been. I think I would have been told to go to MTSU, go to UAB, go to Samford, and then if you develop there, then this SEC school will come give you a chance. But like, I'm not going to Mississippi State. I'm not going to an SEC school to try to develop there because that's just not how the recruitment's working anymore because of the transfer portal.
And then
stuff
Mississippi
like
State's got the money, so they could have
Exactly.
kept you there. But
Right.
But that would have never been your first stop. There's
Yep.
no chance
Right.
that that's your first stop.
Yep.
That's interesting. Yeah. You can't get people. How good were you? Were you a quarterback?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get college offers to play quarterback?
I did. So talking about high school football coach, like my big summer was going to be, I was going to have to make a decision
Who
this
was
summer
it?
between my football coach, Jeff Walters. He's in a school in Birmingham now.
Jeff Walters.
Basically, I committed to Mississippi State that spring of my junior baseball season, and I was going to have to make a decision that summer. Do I want to go play all the baseball tournaments, or do I want to go to all the football camps? Because like I got to pick which one I want to do in college, and then I got to go try to chase that one that summer. So I mean, I went on some unofficial visits for football. I never got to like very deep in the recruiting stage. But I mean, I think like I always thought I could have played at Memphis, and then I found out into college like that I was the same class as Paxton, so I would have never ever played. So that was a great thing I didn't go there. But like I think I went to visit to Samford. Like I think I was like FCS, like a good FCS program. I think I could have gone and played at a place like that and had some success.
Did you miss it?
Oh yeah, I still do.
Oh really?
Yeah, I love football. Football was my favorite sport in high school.
Who's your favorite?
That was your favorite sport.
Yeah, football was my
But
favorite.
it was not what you were
NFL
best
team?
at.
Please don't say the Cowboys. Please don't say the Cowboys.
No, I don't know. I don't have an NFL team. I mean, it would be the Titans by default. Like just because you're a big Cowboys guy, right? Yeah.
Big Cowboys.
I like I love
the
watching
Bay. Go Niners!
But I've never had I grew up kind of a Packers fan because my dad is a big Packers fan.
Yeah.
And then my NFL fandom, like I enjoy watching the games because I love football. Like I said, I don't have a team. I don't have one team.
Who's your favorite player? Who's your favorite player?
Favorite NFL player right now?
Please don't say anybody on the Cowboys.
I mean, I do love Dak. It's Mississippi State guy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I like Dak.
Go
I like
Bullies!
I like our Mississippi State guys.
Yeah. Hey, call Brian Edwards. Put him out.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah,
we lost him.
Yeah,
what
we
were his
lost him.
picks?
Georgia. Here, I got him.
He had other stuff to do.
I've got him.
Yeah, it's my bad.
Georgia.
I miss Brian Edwards,
says-
but here are the picks. Go
Georgia +3 or +125 on the money line.
Okay, no. We're gonna give Brian Edwards from Vegas Insiders picks that we were not able to get on the show because Brent came in.
I talked too much. It's over.
No, I screwed that up.
We're good.
And then we ran long, but it was worth it.
For sure.
Give Brian's pick, and we're gonna decide. Brent Rooker is gonna decide whether we bet it or not.
There we go. I'm with it.
Georgia
Let's go.
+3 against Texas tomorrow.
I would take that.
Okay, Brent likes
I
Brian
got
Edwards' pick.
I got a lot of faith in Kirby Smart.
He is buying the hook from 3.5 down to 3. Oregon -3 against Penn State.
Yeah.
I kind of like it
two
too.
for two, Brian.
I
Two
think
for
we
two.
kind of like it, Brian,
Yeah.
so far.
Two for two, Brian.
SMU -2.5 against Clemson.
I'm 3
Boy,
for
I
3.
tell you this,
I have no idea.
Bama
about
needs
that one.
this so badly. Bama needs SMU to win.
Is Rhett Lastly the head coach at SMU?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was, when I went on that recruiting visit to Samford, he was the OC at Samford. So I remember Rhett.
Wait.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That's wild.
Was it Bowden?
The head coach? Yes. No.
Terry Bowden was at Samford, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't the head coach. I don't remember who the head coach was. But Rhett was the OC.
Let's see.
That I always talk to.
Brett Lashley was the OC?
Yeah.
You were there 2017, right?
No, that would have been 2013.
2013. It was.
Or 2012.
Pat Sullivan.
Pat Sullivan. Heisman winner, Pat Sullivan.
Former Auburn Tiger?
Yeah.
Pat Sullivan?
Yeah.
SoCon Coach
right.
of the Year in 2012.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's all right with Rhett. Let's go back to 2.5.
Yeah. Well, let's see if you know anything about Miami of Ohio -2 against Ohio.
I don't have any input.
You're just going to go with it. His NFL pick is the Arizona Cardinals -2.5 against the Seattle Lamehawks.
I'm good with that. Is it in Arizona?
Yeah, it's in Arizona.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah, Arizona.
And Seattle just got that big win on the road playing against the Jets, so now they have to go back, and then they have to go back to Arizona. Yeah,
And then he
I'm fine
likes
with that.
Shavkat Rachmanov to win inside the distance against Ian Gary.
What sport is that?
UFC. UFC 310.
Is there any of the big ones that he did not mention that we need to mention? Games that are playing.
Arizona State, Iowa State.
Oh, I kind of like UNLV. I'm going to be rooting for them tonight.
That's tonight.
Yeah, that's on Fox.
They're good, yeah?
And that's former Memphis assistant Barry Odom.
Yeah.
The go-go offense.
Yeah.
I know
why
that
do you
Boise.
hate Ashton Genty so much?
Huh?
You don't want Ashton Genty to be in the playoff?
No, I like Ashton Genty.
He's gotta win the
But I
Heisman,
mean, I
right?
need him to go ahead.
No.
I need him.
Dude, he's got to win the Heisman.
Hey, it's going to be Hunter.
Come on,
It's going to be Hunter.
Big 12, man. Travis Hunter,
Hey, Genty needs to go ahead, get out, skip the bowl game, get ready for his Cowboys career. We don't need any more carries on him. We're going to run him into the ground.
DeMarco Murray style.
DeMarco Murray style. We don't need any more carries on Genty. He's fine.
Respectful.
But that's good tonight. And then Army Tulane. Who cares?
Arizona State, Iowa State line has moved.
Oh, yeah.
It was Arizona State -2.5.
Another former Memphis assistant, Kenny Dillingham. I'll be rooting for Arizona State.
Down to Arizona State -1.5 now.
Scottaboo the running back. I'm riding for him. Let's go.
Scattaboo?
Yeah, the new Christian McCaffrey, bro. He's just like Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I'm riding with him.
This is going to be a good weekend. Georgia, Texas is
game.
at 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
Wow.
Georgia, Texas, 3
When
o'clock.
do y'all have to report back for spring training?
I got my airline ticket today, February 15th. First day of camp
You
is
got
the
a
17th.
lot of Grizzly games to go to before that.
A lot of free time.
A lot of Grizzly games to go to.
February 17th, or February 10th is the first pitcher and catcher workout, I guess. February 17th, first full squad workout.
The hardest pitch to hit.
Any, like, individual pitch?
Yeah, just like the one, it don't really matter who throws it. It's always a little bit tougher for you.
Right-handed changeups. Yeah, give me some trouble.
Right-handed changeup.
Right-handed changeup specifically. Yeah.
Well, you just let the whole league know.
Yeah, we have one.
I promise they already know. They already know.
They know. Yeah, he's already talked about that. They have film on you immediately.
As many times as they throw it to me, they already know.
This guy's gonna have a healthy elbow and face nothing but changeups the whole year.
That's it.
Like, people are gonna blame me. The people of Sacramento are gonna blame me.
Opposing pitching staff know what I do well and not do well probably better than I do. So I'm not
Totally
worried
fair.
about exposing any information.
It's an amazing story, man. Congrats on all your success.
Yeah, thank you.
By the time you come in here next time, I'll have me a Rucker jersey.
All right.
Yep. And we'll see you at all these Grizzly games. Grizzlies Boston tomorrow night.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
The Marcus Smart return game.
The Marcus Smart return game
And
in
then
Boston.
the Wizards at Wizards on Sunday.
I don't care about that.
Well, it's a game we have to play.
They've lost like 1,800 games in a row.
Thanks to Brent Rooker. Thanks to Devin Walker. Thanks to John Roser across the glass. Thanks to Jalen back in the studio. We will be back on Monday. Until then, we go.